Losing your life over the wrong cheese being put on a sandwich. Sad. Just sad. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this spooktacular Spinsterella story. Pick up your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. Two men wound up losing their lives in a Chicago restaurant in a dispute over the wrong cheese being put on a sandwich.
We are learning more about a deadly shooting at a Roseland restaurant this week, and we've learned it all started over cheese. Police say a customer at Monty's Grill was angry about the type of cheese on his sandwich, leading him to get into a shouting match with an employee there. The employee then called her son to help. Police say when the son arrived, he was punched and chased by that angry customer and another man. Then the gunfire erupted. The son shot both Dexter Williams and Monty Potts. Both later died. So far, there are no charges, as this does appear to be self-defense.
Now, in this alleged incident that took place at Monty's Grill on 9 East 111th Street in Chicago, 34-year-old Monty Potts and 38-year-old Dexter Williams were inside the restaurant when one of the men allegedly ordered a sandwich, and after ordering a sandwich, they noticed that the wrong cheese was being put on the sandwich, and as they noticed that the wrong cheese was being put on a sandwich, this is where they got into an argument with the woman working behind the counter. And as they got into an argument with the woman working behind the counter, it escalated into a shouting match between the woman and the two men, and this eventually led to the situation becoming so out of control that this woman called her son from the back to help out as related to this situation. Now, once the son arrived, he was not able to resolve the conflict because these males were so upset and in their emotions that they wound up punching the young man. And as they punched the young man, they chased him out of the restaurant. And as they chased him out of the restaurant, this is where allegedly the son shot both Dexter Williams and Monty Potts. And later on, as they were taken to the hospital, both of these men wound up dying. Now, as the son was taken into custody after the shooting, he was taken to the hospital where he was found to be in good condition for the injuries that were inflicted on him as related to the fight that took place as related to this whole incident over this sandwich. And the police have not charged the son with any charges because the shooting appeared to be self-defense. Now, the Chicago police see the alleged behavior of Dexter Williams and Monty Potts as part of an isolated incident as related to the shooting over this cheese on this sandwich. But when I take a critical examination of the alleged behavior of both of these men, it definitely fits the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear to me that neither of these men had any sort of understanding of male life skills or male survival skills to understand how to think critically or how to conflict resolve, because they basically escalated a situation over cheese being put on a sandwich into one that wound up putting them in a place where they wound up losing their lives. And it's all because neither of these men knew how to navigate through their emotions as related to trying to resolve the conflict over this sandwich. No, while these men were upset about this sandwich, they did not need to act in a way that wound up escalating things. No, all he needed to do was basically go out here and explain that the wrong type of cheese is being placed on a sandwich. And in the case of the female working behind the counter, they could have basically, again, resolved this whole situation. They could have resolved the situation because when it comes down to a person, they may have an allergy of a certain cheese, or they may have an issue as related to digesting a certain type of cheese, and it would have been better to just try to resolve the situation as related to the cheese on the sandwich by either going out here and remaking the sandwich with the proper cheese, or going out here and refunding the money. Unfortunately, emotions were running way too high between this female and these males, and as the emotions were running too high as related to this female and these males, they basically got out of control. And as things got out of control, this woman further escalated the situation by asking her son to come in from the back, and instead of looking to resolve the situation. And I believe that the woman didn't want to resolve the situation because she didn't want to be accountable for her actions of putting the wrong cheese on the sandwich. But the whole thing is that had they just done that, it basically would have settled the whole matter. But the whole thing is, it didn't need to get that emotional as related to things. But when it comes to beta males, they just basically get so emotional, and they get so emotional and out of control that they turn minor situations into major incidents. And that's exactly what happened here. This minor situation got turned into a major incident, and got turned into a major incident because a female, again, did not know how to conflict resolve or problem solve, and even worse, just brought her son in to try to resolve the conflict. But by then, when you're dealing with beta males, again, these men don't know how to problem solve or critically think, and that's how the situation became out of control over cheese being put on a sandwich that basically, it would have either gone in the garbage or basically would be in the toilet 6 to 8 hours later. And sadly, these people put the value of that sandwich more than their intangibles as related to character. I mean, these men basically put this sandwich over their intangibles of manhood, such as their dignity, because they just saw that the sandwich had more value than themselves, such as their self-worth, because they didn't see their own worth as men, that they got so upset over this cheese on a sandwich, and they put their freedom and their lives at risk over just the wrong cheese being put on a sandwich. Now, any logical, critical thinking man, if he did not pay for that sandwich yet, if I did not pay for that sandwich yet, and I see the wrong cheese being put on the sandwich, well, guess what? What I'm gonna do is just leave the sandwich there, walk out of the restaurant, and keep it pushing, because there's more important things than a sandwich than my life. And again, when it comes to a sandwich, again, this is something that's going to be in the toilet maybe 6-8 hours later. And if they put the wrong cheese on the sandwich and you didn't pay for the sandwich yet, then cool, okay, I didn't pay for it, so it's their loss. And even if I did pay for it, again, I can write that sandwich off. Because there's, again, more important things than a sandwich. Okay, they gave me a bad sandwich, so just go to another restaurant and walk away from this one. There's no need to escalate things as related to this situation. But when it comes to beta males, everything is about their feelings and sating their feelings. And because everything is about sating their feelings, they never really think critically about the consequences of their actions. And since they don't think about the consequences of their actions, this is where they escalate a situation into something that just gets completely out of control. And that's exactly what happened here. As related to things, these males basically, again, got so upset over the cheese on this sandwich that they basically turned it into a situation that basically led to them winding up in a situation where they're winding up losing their lives. Now, this son, again, basically had no choice as related to this whole situation. I mean, he's being attacked by two individuals. He possibly came out looking to try to talk to these individuals, but they were so emotional and out of control that he would look to attack attack him over things, again, over something that's just so minor when you really think about it. I mean, the wrong cheese being put on a sandwich, that's nothing to get upset about. I mean, I've gone to the Chinese restaurant and sometimes I would order like chicken wings and fried rice, or have chicken or chicken and broccoli, and I would come home and it would be shrimp with broccoli or beef with broccoli, and I wouldn't get upset about it. It's like, yeah, I may have paid for the food and it's already here. And since it's here, I'm just going to eat what's here and not try to get into a back and forth with people over something. No, it's not really worth, again, more important things like your freedom and your life. I mean, a cheese on a sandwich, it's just not an issue to fight over. No, it's not an issue to fight over at all. And sadly, this is what happens when you have people who have really low impulse control and poor self-control. They wind up turning, again, a minor situation into a major incident where these men came into a restaurant looking for a sandwich, for a meal, and it wound up not even being their last meal. They didn't even get to enjoy that sandwich because they were just so angry, again, so angry about things being wrong. And things, again, people I see these days, I see this type of anger going on after the pandemic. I see so many people simmering, boiling, and seething in anger that they turn trivial matters into just, again, a major incident. And it's just really sad. And it's really sad because it's showing how frazzled people are, how frustrated people are as related to things like I believe the economy and other things. But you got to maintain your self-control, because you need to maintain, in order for you to survive, you have to maintain your freedom, and you cannot go out here and let anything trigger your anger that could lead to you winding up having to deal with consequences that could lead to you wind up either losing your freedom or wind up losing your life. Because that's what happened here to Dexter Williams and Monty Potts. I mean, here's a 34-year-old man and a 38-year-old man who are no longer with us because they were upset over some cheese being put on a sandwich. Again, upset over cheese on a sandwich. That's not even anything to get upset about. Again, like I said before, I've had orders get mixed up at the Chinese restaurant, and I just ate what they gave me and wrote it off and moved on. I mean, I know some people may not be able to do that because of allergies, but there's still, again, you got to know how to conflict resolve. You got to know how to resolve something without getting personal and getting so upset that you lose control over yourself, because your life has more value than some cheese on a sandwich. Your life has more value than some food that's going to be, I'll repeat it once more, in the toilet in less than 6 to 8 hours and flushed into the sewer. I mean, your life has more value than that, and you have to see your life as having more value, that you can walk away from certain things. I mean, I can walk away from something as related to, again, the wrong food being as related to things. And if they give me the wrong food and I didn't pay with cash, I just go dispute it with the credit card company. I mean, there's ways to resolve this situation. There's ways to resolve a situation when things don't work out and you can't work with people. I mean, there's all sorts of solutions, and you don't have to put yourself in a situation where you're getting so violent. I mean, there's no reason to get violent over the wrong cheese being put on a sandwich. But what I see with a lot of people is that their nerves are being tested as related to things because of the way our economy is with inflation, and the way people are just stressed out because they're working so many hours, they're working so hard, and again, it's just making people on edge. And again, as they get on edge, we're seeing this new trend in this man crisis, with people becoming at their wits' end, and about to explode in rage over trivial things that could wind up, again, putting themselves in jeopardy. Now, this young man who did do this shooting was not charged with anything, and I can't really say that he did anything wrong. All he was doing was looking to defend himself. He came out into a situation he knew nothing about, and these guys escalated this situation into something that was just, again, went to extreme. They went to extreme over a sandwich. And I just look at this whole situation, and again, It's another sad incident in America as related to America's man crisis, and shows me how things are getting progressively worse as related to the man crisis, because we're not only seeing, again, these incidents becoming where men are getting out of control, but we're seeing an increase in frequency of these incidents. I just did a video talking about how a guy at a Popeyes, a manager, threw away his job and his career over some burnt biscuits that most restaurants basically deal with by, again, just writing it off as shrink and then moving on and then trying to settle the situation as related to the front of house in pleasing customers. And again, these are simple matters that can easily be resolved, but many people don't know how to conflict resolve because we did not raise generations of boys to become healthy men. No, we've raised generations of men to become beta males, and as they enter society, they don't know how to work in society, and they make minor incidents into major ones where these men go from being men who are alive to winding up becoming men in a crisis where they take a quick trip to the shadow realm. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of a beta male and help out a person in your life get off the road to being a man in crisis, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Craft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos talking about the man crisis, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.